Hey, hey guys.
Hello.
Yeah, I think we
Hello.
are live. Yes, we are live.
Yes. Hello and welcome back, everyone. It's an exciting time to be here at Polkadex. I think we all know that all of us are eagerly waiting for the mainnet launch, and it's been a while since we came back with an AMA. So it's a right time because this month is the mainnet launch. So today we will brief you on the process and also help answer any questions you may have regarding the staking process and regarding becoming a validator and many things. So I'm Vivek. I'm joined by Gautham J, CEO of Polkadex. Gautham.
Thanks, Vivek. Thanks for the introduction. All right, so everyone is really excited about the mainnet launch, and I know that the community is, really waiting for a long period of time. Asking about when mainnet will go live and when they can start staking and rest of the features will go live. So I will start with that. So the mainnet will go live on Sunday, 26th, and it will be made public, and we will have a 3-day buffer, and it will be available to the public. And John will announce the details of the IP addresses and the boot nodes and all that other stuff that is required for the public to run the mainnet on Wednesday, that is 29th of September. So we are keeping our word. So we said we will launch in September. We kept our word. We will launch in September. Yeah, of course, there's only 2 days left for September to end. But anyway, yeah, so that's the plan. So it's actually a two-step procedure where we initially internally we will start the mainnet on Sunday, and we make sure that all the everything that we learned from the testnet and the testnet procedures and what went wrong and what went good. So we take all that into account, and after that, we will deploy everything by Sunday and Monday, and we monitor that for 2 days. And if everything is going well, and hopefully it will go well because testnet has been running for a long period, and we didn't find any critical bugs that actually stopping us from launching mainnet. So hopefully we will launch in Wednesday, and from that point staking will start. So initially we will be staking because we also has to do PDEX migration from ERC20 to the mainnet. So that also is another point, a big concern, and we have to take that really seriously before we do that. So that is one of the reason why we won't be migrating the day when the mainnet launch, but we will wait for the mainnet to become stable and have sufficient validators, approximately about 100 real validators, decentralized validators. It's not like we are running 100 nodes and calling it decentralized. So it should be decentralized. At the same time, there should be sufficient number of validators, and then we will be doing migration. And we expect the migration to go live. Yeah, the module is there. It will be there in the system, but it will be disabled for the time being. And as soon as we hit that goal, and which is expected to happen in late October, the PDEX migration will happen, and all the ERC20 token will be coming to the mainnet from there. And there is one more thing, and it can be used for staking and all the other purposes. And before that, we will be releasing the PDEX migration, which is expected to release to the beta testers and the testnet in next week. So everyone will be able to test, claim some, testnet ERC20 PDEX token from Ropsten, the Ethereum's testnet, and they can try to do a migration to our Polkadex testnet. So from an Ethereum testnet to the Polkadex testnet, and they can, the community can understand how the whole migration process will work, and we can also understand what are the real life consequences of the PDEX migration, and what how the systems react. So it's a learning thing from starting from next week for PDEX migration, and we will hopefully, when that goes well, we will launch that in the mainnet also. And so that's how we are going to start the mainnet. And of course, the mainnet will still have the technical council, the general council. So the governance mechanisms are there, and it is not yet active. The treasury will be there. Treasury will contain about 51% of the total supply, that is around 10.2 million tokens or somewhere around that. And we have a configuration for, so out of that 10.2 million tokens, 10.2 or 8 million tokens, 2 million tokens is reserved for parachains. So we expect to go for parachains as soon as our products go live, and also in the second auction of Polkadot, which is expected to be Q1 2022. So at that point, these 2 million tokens from the treasury will be used for the crowd loan purposes, and the community will be able to get that. And we also plan to announce a kind of a grants program, because as soon as the mainnet is live, we will have the treasury live also. So using a clear, transparent process that is visible to everyone and publicly verifiable process, we will be distributing the tokens from the treasury based on different work. So it will be mainly depending on building trading, infrastructure for Polkadex, for example. There are multiple trading bot communities out there with different type companies of trading bot. So at the end of the day, we want Polkadex to be integrated with all the trading bots, so that community can use any trading bot of their choice to connect Polkadex and trade in multiple exchanges, so that it's like you can trade in a centralized exchange. At the same time, you can buy in a centralized exchange, and at the same time you can sell in Polkadex, and do all kind of trading strategies. So this should be possible in Polkadex, and there should not be a blocker, so that you are not able to use a certain tool or a trading bot because it's not supported in Polkadex. So this is why we have the treasury. So we'll be outsourcing to the community, the developer community in the awesome Web3 developer community, who can build this stuff, and will be given grants from the Polkadex treasury. And which also is another factor, it will be a clear and transparent process, because the bounties and the milestones will be on chain, and everyone can verify, and the token holders can reject that if they feel, okay, the Polkadex doesn't need that. And if they approve it, they can approve it. And also the work done by these teams are also in publicly open source in GitHub, so that is also trackable. So it becomes a wholesome, transparent process for Polkadex. And on top of that, regarding the staking and nominations, we are planning to have a hardware integration. We are already in talks with most of the prominent hardware wallet services and providers, and they expect to complete their side of the work by October, November, somewhere around that. And we expect to have major hardware wallet providers supporting Polkadex, and the staking and all the other infrastructure around it by end of the year, which means that the community will be able to hold tokens, the native tokens in their hardware, and stake from that, just like we have it in Polkadot, Kusama, and all the other substrate blockchains. And yeah, so that's another fantastic factor, because you are able to stake in a much secure fashion, and also nominate other validators in the community who can run a service, but they don't have enough stake. And we are following the same mechanism as Polkadot in terms of staking. The ideal stake, that is 50% of the total supply, will be staked, and that's when the the rewards will be optimum. And yeah, so that's how this should work. And one more thing is that there is a automatic burn mechanism in treasury, which means that the 1% of the total supply or total amount in treasury will be burned every month. It's roughly about 24 days, which means that there will be a sudden dip in supply. That's like, there will be like, I mean, right now when the network launches, there will be like about 20 million in total supply with the corresponding token economics and the rest of the vesting period for the initial investors, and it will decrease because the treasury supply will be burnt a little bit, but then with the inflation it will come back. So as we mentioned earlier in our previous documentation and token economics, there's a the total supply of Polkadex will always bounce between 18 million and 20 million, and you can see that live in the when the testnet goes live. So yeah, I mean, these are the main factors that is related to the mainnet. And other than that, in the testnet, we are currently testing IDO platform internally, and all our engineers are testing it and seeing how the interface works, how the backend works, how the features are working. So IDO platform is expected to go live on testnet next month, most probably. So you guys can actually test that also. As soon as Peters migration is done, then we have the mainnet. Then that in the next week we have mainnet. So week after that, it will be like Explorer integration, existing node service providers, validator service providers, all that integrations will be going on. And the next week after that, IDO palette will be going live in testnet and getting public feedback, beta testers, the whole 9 yards. And then we will start with the Polka pool, where that's where Polka pool is also ready. We are actually testing. We had a review with Substrate Builders program yesterday, so they will be reviewing things. As soon as that review is expected to over, it will go live. It will go live in testnet, and on top of that. Okay, on top of that, sorry?
We have a few questions, so I'm just trying to answer them. You can carry on, no problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on top of that, once we have the mainnet running and if everything is stable, we expected to have the order book release, the initial release of order book. So order book has multiple releases. It's not like there will be one single release for order book and that will contain everything, because we start with create orders, trading bot APIs, and also cancel order, which means that everyone can place trades just like a centralized exchange and cancel trades, but edit order mechanism won't be there in the initial release of order book. And then you have to release you have to test that in the testnet, and then in the beta testing will go on, and if everything goes well, we will have another release where the other features like edit orders and the remaining order book functionality will be going live in testnet. So this is a step-by-step procedure which is expected to happen in late October or mid to late October, and then following up with November, where we will have the order book and Polka pool going live around the same time and getting feedback from the community. So, and there is one more thing I really want to stress here, because once the validators are going live, we will be having consistent communication with the validators in a Discord channel, which we have right now. We have a validator channel there, and we want to make sure that all the validators are really in touch with us, and they make sure that their addresses, the staking addresses in the blockchain is well known to us. We'll be reaching out to each validators in that group, and to provide us with the addresses, because the Polkadex mainnet will go through multiple breaking changes which can cause slashing. Whenever we add new feature, there are it's not like a runtime upgrade. It also requires the whole source code upgrade, which means that the validators has to, at least the majority of the 2/3 of the validators needs to upgrade as soon as possible before that feature comes into effect. So all the validators need to stay in touch with us, and whenever we say that, okay, you guys have to upgrade to the latest version, do that as soon as possible. Otherwise, there is a chance of getting slashed because the token economics and the crypto economics we built onto that feature might affect you. So yeah, I think these are the main important factors leading up to the mainnet launch and followed by the Peters migration. And all the other features like Polka pool, IDO palette, order book, everything is expected to go live in February next year, because we have another audit going on for that in December, and followed by the audit will expected to complete on early February. And as soon as that, we will go live on the mainnet. We will be upgrading the mainnet with these features one by one. So this is the rough timeline we have. And especially, but all these features, even though it is expected to go live on mainnet on February, these features will be going live on the testnet way before that, and it is around October, November time period. So that's how this is expected to roll out. Yeah, I think anything else that we missed? Anything else to include?
Not really. I think there are a few questions in the question answer section. So I was trying to answer them, and I think the biggest would be the how the exchange would interact with other blockchains, and what are the types of trading pairs we have. So, I think we are definitely working on native bridges with other blockchains, and we are also planning to have a open grants program, which will allow people to build these bridges in the technology stack that we are going to provide them. So, Gautam, maybe you want to elaborate that because that's one of the primary questions that's out there.
Sure. Yeah, so there are multiple other features that we haven't yet announced to the community, which are already in the works in the GitHub, in private GitHub repositories, because once we feel that it is ready to go live, we will be announcing that. So this is actually stemming from that. Um, you know, um, like there are multiple cross-chain bridging solution that is not depending on any kind of crazy crypto fancy cryptography. At the same time, it is secure enough to practically use and economically usable. So there are multiple other cross-chain solutions which are super secure, but it is not economically usable. But as an exchange, we have to make sure that it is easy to bring in liquidity and it is easy to take out liquidity from the system. So in that matter, we are building features in the test in house, which will allow us to support non-substrate blockchains directly in Polkadex. And once that is ready, we will be announcing that in testnet, and also we will be alive in mainnet. So which means that the community, once production the whole product is live, the community will be able to bring access from all the other blockchains that that has we this particular cross-chain solution also has certain constraints, but 90% of the blockchains out there has that. So Polkadex will be able to support at least the top 10 blockchains by market cap will be supported. That's what we are aiming for, and we expect to support all those blockchains by mid next year or late next year, depending on how the progress goes on. Which and this means that this is also one of the reasons why I mentioned whenever we are saying that okay, there is a breaking change in the code, the validators need to upgrade, because this is one of the features that will, when we announce it in the mainnet for the mainnet launch, the validators has to all the validators has to upgrade, otherwise the stake will be slashed, because the same code should be running on every validator, at least a 2 byte out of the validator for the security of the network. So there's a lot of critical transition stages where a new feature gets added to the mainnet, and this is one of it. And this cross-chain bridge solution will allow everyone to use Polkadex from any different blockchains, especially even from entirely different, not focused blockchains like Cardano, Ripple, or any other such non-substrate or not even proof of stake or proof of work based blockchains will be supported in Polkadex, and it will be just one-click transfer solution to Polkadex. So yeah.
All right, I think next most voted question is about how you plan to engage the community. I think you don't have to mention it that we have one of the best marketing teams out there. We always interact with our community. We have programs running almost every other week. So if you're following us on social media or on our Twitter and Telegram channels, you can see that I think last week we had a partnership announcement with NFT company, and then we also have a new announcement that happened yesterday. So if you follow our social media channels, I think it's very easy to know that we always interact with our community and make sure that they're always engaged in some manner.
Yeah, definitely. We have like 50,000 followers in Twitter, so definitely we have one of the best marketing teams. So definitely we will have more AMAs and more other marketing activities around the mainnet launch, especially before and after mainnet, to make sure that community is well understood and well versed with the different concept of the staking and the whole validating, nominating sections. And it's similar to, it's same as Polkadot. The only difference is the underlying currency, the total supply is different, and the tools that we use is slightly different. But other than that, it's pretty much same. So it is really easy. You don't need to be worried that okay, this is complicated and complex. But we will make sure, we will do our best to make sure that The community is well versed with how to stake, how to nominate, how to become a validator, how to run a full node, and how to access the explorer, and how to see interact with the governance and etc. And there will be like AMA sections where you guys can ask, how to do stuff, and all these other know-hows of how to use the different components of Polkadex. We will make sure that that is available to you, and we will be there for you guys.
Yeah, there's another question is about web APIs. Um, any plans to support a web API similar to how you can interact with the Coinbase account or your Ledger or MetaMask, etc.? We definitely have APIs, right, Gautham? I think with from the mobile, maybe that feature where you have the proxy account, that's something maybe you can.
Yeah, if it is regarding the order book, then yes, mobile app has like mobile has basically all the functionality as the website, which means that you can have a mobile app that is much less secure. You don't need to have OTP or any other like email based verification. That is not required. You it's just one click deploy kind of thing, just like you use PayPal or any Google Pay or any of those services where you just sign in with a pin or the biometrics in your mobile phone. You place a trade, that's it. And even if you lose the phone, you won't lose your fund because it is secured by your cold wallet or some other wallet, hardware wallet that you use to store the funds. So we basically have a two-step procedure: a private key that is used for placing trades and like managing the trades, and one key that is used to store the funds, which you can keep locked away somewhere else secure. So yeah, and also in the mobile app, when the cross-chain solution goes live, you can use that to withdraw tokens to the native blockchain that is not the from Polkadex to the source blockchain, and also you can deposit from those source blockchains to Polkadex. So this is something possible inside the mobile app directly. And on top of that, once order book and all the other functionalities ready, we will also implement staking mechanism so that you can stake directly from the mobile app itself. But this is down the lane. And it will be supported given the time, because Polkadex is not like a simple smart contract that you can simply write like 10 lines of code and it's done. There's a lot of moving parts in the system, so we take a step-by-step approach, make sure that the last feature is up and running and it is production ready before we start with the next one. So this is one of the main reasons why we are not announcing the cross-chain solution right now, but once it is ready, we are working on it. Once it is ready, we need some time. Once it is ready, we will announce it to the public, and it will be a groundbreaking. I mean, it will literally break the ground of all the cross-chain solutions out there, because it is much user-friendly, and also it is much economically feasible for a user to trade from the source blockchain to others. And also especially the validators will really love it, because when that goes live, like you will be able to earn tokens as withdrawal fees in other currencies also, not only in PDEX but other currencies. That is like, for example, if somebody is bringing Bitcoin to Polkadex, they trade it and they want to withdraw back, that user will be paying a withdrawal fee, which will be given to the validator. So you can earn Bitcoin in a different manner by running a Polkadex validator. So these are the different things that we'll be building, but this is more like in the Q1 of next year when this is going to go live. We will be announcing all the other specific details when it's going live in testnet later this year.
All right, and thank you so much for some of them trying to help with these questions. Gypsy Virgin and a few others, Timmy and from Cardano, someone from the Cardano community is helping out. So thank you so much for doing that. And
thank you guys.
And also, there you have a very good question here. When Mainnet launches, Polkadex promises throughput that can support up to 500,000 transactions per second and offers low latency. How can you claim 500? Solana is the fastest with 50K. And what exactly is the technical breakthrough? And it's not layer 2, right? Because it's the best security. So
yeah, I just
okay.
mentioned that. So it's so here the one thing that you have to understand is that we are building a product. If we are building a trading platform, okay, essentially we are building a crypto exchange in a high level overview. It's not a blockchain. It's not a a generic blockchain platform that can be used for something else. It's a crypto exchange. So the 500K transaction per second, that is actually trades per second. So there is no other order book based DEX in the whole world that can support like more than 500,000 or more than that trades per second. And in fact, Polkadex can scale it up. We have horizontal and vertical scalability that is possible using the T technology as layer two. So and layer two will, even though we have layer two T solution that enables the 500,000 trades per second, feature, still the funds are secured by the layer one mechanism. That is the native blockchain. So this is what, this is the innovation that Polkadex brought out to the world, where we are completely, decoupling the two parts into, it into two parts, where the security of the user funds is secured by the blockchain, and and getting the high frequency, low latency part to an off-chain solution that it is good at. Because nobody really cares about the trades per second. I mean, nobody really cares about they don't want to send trades directly to the blockchain. Nobody really want that. They are okay with sending it directly to the order book. But the problem is, to secure the funds, others technologies are using the mechanism where the trades are sent to the blockchain first, then it is executed on the blockchain. But what we did is we removed that part and we made sure that the funds are secured on the blockchain. At the same time, the trades, the individual trades of a customer, the create order, cancel order, edit order, all those actions are going directly to the off-chain solution. And that's what enables us to scale up, like horizontally and vertically, which means that even when the requirements go up, like when we want to support 1 million transactions per second or more than that, we'll be able to do that because it's an off-chain solution. At the same time, it is publicly verifiable because of the T technology for the community that, okay, how did we process the orders and what was the balance state? And even if the operator of the order book goes offline, or if the community feels that the operator is not behaving properly, there are mechanisms built into the layer one, which will be coming out mostly in the testnet soon, which is the off-chain workers and our IPFS solution, which can be used by the community to shut off the exchange completely, and which will stop the operator from doing any more deposits or withdrawals, and the community can claim back the funds automatically. All these things happen automatically. The moment operator goes offline, it is done. So pretty much it's unhackable. The moment a hack happens, the emergency shutdown protocol comes into effect, and the community can withdraw the funds, whatever funds they had. So this is how Polkadex scales, because we can scale like a centralized exchange in terms of trades per second to the order book. At the same time, we have the same security for the user funds, just like a layer one blockchain, because layer one is protecting in our case also. I think that's a really good explanation for this.
Yeah, that is nice. Then you have this question about the sudo key, right? When will sudo be dropped on mainnet? Required changes to be voted on by the community.
That's a really good question. So the sudo key will be removed most probably Q1 next year. Then there are three reasons why we are keeping it there. The first one is currently the number of validators and the number of the security of the network is really low. So we need some way to revert something if in case something goes wrong with the testnet, or someone tries to attack the system, especially when we are having PDS migration and all the other features. If somebody messed up, like tries to mess up the whole migration part, then we should be able to revert that and make sure that nobody uses the funds. So that's why we have sudo key for the right now. And when the different features come in, we are also intending to becoming a parachain. Right now we are a solo chain, which means a normal substrate blockchain. But Parity is actually working on a solution that can enable us to go from a solo chain to parachain directly in Polkadot when we get a parachain slot. So when that happens, there might be a situation where we need to use sudo to manually move the state from the mainnet to the parachain if the parachain technology is not yet ready. So that is another requirement for that. And also when we have different features, especially the breaking changes in the code that we'll be making to the blockchain in Q1, that is January and February, when we launch all the other products, that also requires sudo key as a backup, so that if something goes wrong, we can use that to make sure that we can reward and ensure a stable running network. And the sudo key will be completely removed from the system, and make sure that only the technical community, technical council and the general council will be taking care of the entire process after Q1, when all the products are launched and when we become a parachain. After that, the sudo key will not be there, and we don't have any other direct control over the system, and it will be completely through the token holders and the on-chain governance in the system. So yeah.
Right. And another question is about how many active validators will be selected for each era on Mainnet.
Yeah, so right now we are intending to configure about 150 validators as the total limit, and once we reach there, and depending on how the system reacts and how the system behaves, we will be increasing that using on-chain governance. We don't use sudo for that. If the on-chain community believes that they want to increase, you guys can put a proposal on-chain, and if the rest of the token holders believe that should be done, it will be voted on. But initially we start with 150 validators.
All right, great. I think next is about the PDEX earned during crowd loan. I think crowd loan is going to happen when the auctions begin, right? For the Polkadot. That's end of the year. So we'll have a strategy in place at that time. So it would be too premature to announce anything right now. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many PDEX must be staked in order to receive trading discounts, especially the no free trading, will be tiered structure with gradual reduction in fees. So it's the same that we had yesterday, right? Could be about the Polka pool.
I mean, I think it's regarding the order book, the trading fee discounts in order book. So, there are two parts here. There is a Polka pool which allows feeless transactions, and especially no friend running. It's like Uniswap with no friend running and no fees. So that's Polka pool in short. For that, it will the number of tokens required to claim feeless transaction will entirely depend on the network demand. If there is somebody else who is taking more tokens, then the only way you can get into the next block is by staking more than the other guy. So that's how Polka will. It's just like Ethereum gas fees, where the highest paying guy will the transaction will get into the next block. But in case of Polka pool, the feeless transaction, the highest staking, it's not paying to the validator. You are just locking up the token. So if you lock up more tokens, then you can get into you will have a much higher probability of getting into the next block. And if the question is regarding the order book and the maker and taker fees in order book, so there is no maker fees, which means that to make an order in the order book, there is zero maker fees. And for taker fees, we start if you have no PDEX in your wallet, then the taker fees will be 0.2%, and it will decrease from there depending on how much PDEX you have on a 30-day moving average. So we'll be coding that up in the system, and you can see that in the open source code base. So you can clearly see how the algorithm will work, and it will go down to 0.05% of the total trading amount as the taker fee, and if you're taking an order from the order book. So this is how we believe PDEX will play another role, another utility for the reducing the trading fees in the system by staking. Not exactly staking. You just need to have PDEX in the wallet that you're trading in the order book. So you just need to have it. That's it. You don't need to lock it up. We are just calculating the 30-day moving, because it's really hard to like from a user experience wise. It's really bad if we ask the users to lock their PDEX if they want to get a trading discount in order book. So that's why we plan to have a 30-day moving average, so that user just needs to have some free balance of PDEX in that particular account, and we calculate the 30-day moving average. And if it is greater than a certain amount of value, then you will have a reduced trading fees. So this is how we'll be, and we'll be most probably following most of the prominent centralized exchanges. The same slab-based system will be followed by Polkadex also, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel there. And that's how we will be implementing the trading discounts with the help of PDEX, the free balance of PDEX.
Yeah, Gautam, there's a lot of question about people asking whether we have support for MetaMask and whether we need to have MetaMask during the migration process. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another really good question. The migration code base is actually built on the understanding that the community will use MetaMask for transfer, or at least the hardware connected with a hardware wallet connected using MetaMask to do the migration. And you will require, I mean, essentially, just like I think we accidentally leaked the migration page, and some of you guys took it from the GitHub. A lot of you guys are, I mean, actually keeping a big eye on what's happening in our GitHub. So I believe some of us saw that. But anyway, so there will be a page where you have to enter your the Polkadex address in which you want to receive the funds. And then you need to have the Polkadex JS extension and the Polkadex MetaMask extension installed in that browser when you're in the website, and then you click migrate. That's it. And it assumes that it takes the MetaMask address and it will take the your ERC20 address, which has PDEX, and it will do the migration by signing a transaction, sending it to Ethereum. And once that is completed, we expect once the transaction is also confirmed, we are assuming about like 30 block confirmation for security, which it's an arbitrary value right now. We will reduce this maybe depending on testnet feedback. And once that is done, you will automatically get an PDEX on the native chain on the mainnet or the testnet in that address that you have given there when you're migrating.
Right. Mm, Now, I think there are a few people who are, I think they're relatively new to the ecosystem because they're asking questions about how we deal with the common issues that you see in the swap-based DEXs. So if you look at the swap DEX issues with slippage and rug pull, smart contract security, um, maybe we can talk a little bit about how we have solved front running and how we have improved Uniswap, uh, in a better way, right?
Yeah. So the way, I mean, I don't want to get too technical here, but the way Polka Pool works is right now, Polka Pool assumes that there is a smart contract system in Polkadex, and which will have a whitelisted contract address, which basically means there's an algorithm, there's an AMM based algorithm in Polkadex that can be selected by the community. Right now, as a default value, we intend to launch with Uniswap version 2, and that particular smart contract, the swap functions of that particular smart contract will be made available for no front running and feeless right now. And
About
when a
the
user, sorry, yeah, so when a user tries to send a transaction, he will say that, okay, I'm ready to stake this much amount of tokens for executing my particular trade. And when that happens, that it will use the on-chain randomness. So there's a cryptographically secure randomness that the system can use to completely randomize the way of the order of execution of these swap transactions, and it will execute on the next block, which means that even if you increase the stake amount or the transaction fee, that only determines that whether you will get into the next block. But in the next block, the order of execution in that block for the swap transaction is not verified, or it's not predictable or deterministic. It is completely random, and that randomness is coming from a cryptographically secure randomness that is used for the consensus of the whole chain, the consensus algorithms. So this is the way we made Polka Pool one of the best things out there, and we eliminated. That's the big point. A lot of other projects are claiming that they have reduced front running or reduced slippage or whatever, but we are saying that it is eliminated. It's mathematically impossible to do a front running attack in Polka Pool. Guys, am I audible? Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. I think Vivek will join in a minute. You know. So yeah, I will go through the other questions. Yeah, in Polka IDO demo video, you guys said that community will get to decide which product will be launching on Polka IDO. My question is, will projects launching on Polkadex IDO also be reviewed by Polkadex team? Because investors will feel more comfortable with putting their money into the projects that have been reviewed by the Polkadex team. So yeah, so that's a really good question. I mean, we intended to share that when we do the IDO release in testnet, but since the question is here, I will answer that. My vision when I created that attestation, like attestation of a certain token project is, in Twitter, we have this thing called verified mark, right? Like the Twitter team verifies certain profiles and then they provide a blue tick mark, right? So similar to that, Polkadex IDO platform will have a mechanism in which the token holders of the complete system. Yeah, Vivek is back. Hey,
Yeah.
Vivek.
Hey, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I was just answering that one question regarding Polkadex IDO. So just like similar to that Twitter blue tick mark, the community, the token holder, the PDEX token holders can vote with their token for the teams that they believe in. So with this mechanism, and if they have sufficient number of the registered participants of IDO platform voting for a product or a token project in that, then that becomes accepted. If not, if they're not able to secure that much, then that token will not be able to do an IDO in the IDO platform. So this is a really good mechanism because we cannot say that okay, every token project verified by us is a good project, because then it becomes a question of okay, that's a trusted solution, right? Because then the community is trusting us. Like in what is stopping us from going wrong, or favoring the teams that will maybe like give us a kickback, or give us something, a reward for getting them into IDO platform. So that's a problem there. So that's the reason why there is no direct involvement for the Polkadex team in the selection of the token projects in IDO platform, but it will be in the hand of the PDEX token holders. So those holders can vote with their tokens for the token, with their PDEX for the token projects that they like and they believe in, and this will be reflected in the IDO platform. And the Polkadex community as a whole get to decide whether that team should be there in the IDO platform. So this is how the attestation work in IDO platform works, and this brings a sense of security, because in the community there will be like developers, engineers, marketing people, normal people, the investors, everyone will be there. So different people are reviewing that project and attesting it, or verifying that whatever they are claiming. And Polkadex IDO platform will make sure that everyone is seeing the exact same information that the team has provided, and there is no scattered information. So everything is recorded on the blockchain using IPFS, including a YouTube video, or a video file that the team will upload to showcase maybe the demo of the product, or introduce a team, or whatever they want to do with the video, will be there cryptographically in the blockchain. So everyone gets to see the exact same source of information. At the same time, everyone votes for that, verifies that, and there's a larger distribution of people verifying the token project rather than just us verifying the token project. So this brings better security, decentralization, and another utility for the PDEX token holders to do something with their token. So this is the reason why we have a distributed mechanism for attesting the token projects in IDO.
Right. There's another question about is there a cost to bring the Ethereum PDEX to our mainnet?
Yeah, so it is pretty simple. So it will most probably have like the same fees as a normal ERC20 transfer. So I will always suggest you guys to do a migration when the fees are low, but it won't be costing much higher than that. maybe like a 1% more than the normal ERC20 transfer. But other than that, it won't be more than that.
Next is about the returns APR. It's going to be similar to Polkadot. We are using a similar reward curve, which goes between 2.5 to 10%, just based on the amount of tokens staked on the network. So
yeah,
pretty much the same as you expect from Polkadot.
So to elaborate on that, the staking I will explain the staking configuration. So we expect 50% of the total supply to be staked, which means that 10 million token needs to be staked by the validators and the nominators in total. And if that is not there, the inflation will reduce. So the ideal behavior should be that if the total staked amount is 50%, then the inflation will be 10% and the reward will be maximum. So this is what the expected staking configuration, and it will depend on that. So the inflation will come down to 2.5%, and it will go up to 10% depending on the total stake amount staked by the validators. So it's exactly similar to Polkadot, what it has right now. So you can expect the same kind of reward mechanism in Polkadex also.
Yeah, there's an interesting question about whether we can have API to keep track of the portfolio they hold in Polkadex, just like how they would do on centralized exchanges.
Yeah, definitely. I believe you guys must have seen the demo video of the app, which contains a wallet mechanism, and it shows a circle thing, and it will show the complete portfolio you hold and the percentage of the tokens and the percentage of different assets that you hold, and you can see it together in a single page, the total portfolio that you have. So it is there in the mobile app.
I think we answered this already. What change we expect Polkadex will be supporting in the future? Right? Yeah, I think we are trying to build cross-chain access to the, I would say, the top 10 initially, because that's the biggest community that you can expect to come to Polkadex. Staked liquidity for any assets. Did you mean yield farming or something like that? Is Polkadex going to offer staked liquidity for any assets? What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. The big deal about PDEX in my eyes will be the ability to trade any coin, whether centralized or decentralized. Additionally, the interface I've seen is something like Coinbase. After trading goes live, your system PDEX will be able to replace my trading on decentralized systems, or will I still need both? You don't need to have PDEX to trade in the order book. Gautham, did you get that question?
Yeah, I mean, if I understand correctly, he's saying that it will be similar to a centralized exchange, and it's not a question. In fact, it's a fact. Something he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, PDEX. I mean, the long-term vision for PDEX is basically Polkadex should not be. I mean, a non-crypto user should not be able to distinguish between Polkadex order book and a centralized exchange. It should be exactly the same. At the same time, the user experience, user experience, the way the user interacts with the trading bot support, fiat support, and all the other features, it should be exactly like a centralized exchange without having any kind of economic or user friendliness disadvantages. At the same time, providing the same security as a centralized or as a decentralized blockchain. So that's what we want to achieve. And we believe that order book and all the other features are a one step in that direction. And we'll continue to make sure that all the other infrastructure will also be decentralized enough and secure enough to make, and at the same time, without compromising the user experience.
Yeah, Gautham, there's a question about the token burning system on the Polka IDO demo. So when a new token needs to be listed, you have to stake a certain amount of PDEX token that will eventually be, burned. So uh, I think you already explained that, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So regarding the burn, so when a new investor registers with it, so it's not like Uniswap where every single address can participate in the IDO platform. It's a two-step procedure. So if anyone wants to participate in an IDO project, they have to register first with some PDEX, and that PDEX is burned. So this is it's a way to reduce supply, and that's a one-time mechanism. And after burning that, the user is considered registered, and after that the user can participate in any number of token projects that they want. They can vote for other projects and do all the other mechanisms. But other than that, there is no other burning mechanism, and it will be more like staking, where if you want to vote for a token project, you just take tokens for it, and once that project is successful, you can unstake and get the tokens back.
Um, I think there's a question about the migration of tokens from the exchanges. Uh, should that be done automatically or a manual process?
Yeah, I mean, we cannot assume a centralized entity to do the migration for you, because what if that centralized entity, like runs away with your funds, and you cannot hold us responsible for that. So we will not build products keeping that in mind. That a centralized entity will help migrate that. So we want you guys, the community, to migrate directly from the blockchain. So if you are having somewhere in some centralized exchanges, then you have to withdraw first to the native, so the Ethereum blockchain, then do the migration manually, because that's the secure way to make sure that the funds are reaching the other side. And also during migration, you have to provide the substrate address. Otherwise, like, I mean, if a centralized entity is doing that, then how will they know your substrate address? Or what if they don't not give you the funds? You cannot go behind them saying that, "Okay, you didn't give me the funds," right? So my recommendation is, there is no auto migration feature enabled in any of the centralized exchanges or any other services. It is a manual procedure. You have to come to the website and manually do the migration by providing your Polkadex address. So that's the only way possible. And the cost of that transaction fee will be exactly similar to a normal ERC20 transfer in Ethereum. And I think that is pretty affordable, for a migration.
Right. And people need to know how many PDEX they need to hold for running a node and the process of staking. I think staking process, we will have a detailed documentation on that when we launch the mainnet. It will be similar to what you have already done on the testnet. But the amount of PDEX, I think it is 100, right?
Yeah. So the amount of PDEX required to become a validator is 100, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you will become a validator, because other validators will be there who will be seeking much higher values. So it becomes a question of supply and demand. And to make sure that you become a validator, you can start with 100 PDEX, and you reach out to the community and try to get as much other PDEX holders to nominate your validator, so that their token, they can also stake for on behalf of this validator. But to do that, you have to earn their trust, and you have to show that, okay, you will run a validator without any disruptions or any other problems, so that you won't be slashing, you won't be get slashed by the network. So that's the main requirement you need. You can start with 100 PDEX as validator. Make sure to get other community members in Polkadex to nominate your validator to become and provide stake to become in the validator in the active set.
Right. And about the tutorial on how to use the Polkadot.js wallet on Polkadex, I think we have already done a video, and I think it will be once again made sure that any documentation needed to run the node will be given out in time.
Vivek, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, really? Okay. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah, I mean, you're breaking off.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, you can carry on, Gautam, because if it's my internet.
Yeah, you're audible now. Yeah. Can you repeat?
All right, cool. Yeah, I was just mentioning that, about the video tutorials, as and when is required. We have already done once for the Polkadot JS wallet. It's one of the first videos we did on how to get connected and how to start using a Polkadot JS wallet. So if you go to our YouTube channel and check out the videos there, you should be able to find these documentation. And any additional documentation that you need for the mainnet, it will be also released in time. It's similar to the testnet, actually.
Yeah. And yeah, wish us luck for a really good mainnet launch. And
Right.
we'll come back to another AMA, after the mainnet
There are a
launch.
few repetitive questions. I think we will take this offline. Maybe we can publish it separately on Telegram or something. That will be easier.
All right.
We had a great, by the way, thank you so much. We had a great number of people registered, almost 450 people. That's pretty awesome.
This is
And
one
we
of the
almost had around,
all-time highs, I think, right?
yeah, that's really amazing, and so thankful to see the support for the project. We are building something big here, and we need your support. And for a blockchain, I think community is everything. So we are hoping that we continue to have the support
Definitely.
from all of
Yes.
you. All
Yeah.
right, I think.
Thanks a lot for your time, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.